Uh, Good afternoon again, viewers. And as you know, in the first session we have discussed about what are the higher education students and need for guidance and counseling for them. As you know, like they were passing through a phase of development that is known as a stage of stress and storm, and we have discussed about their challenges, their problems, their complexes, the features of that stage. And this session is on for you as a college teacher, as a college principal. Basically the people, they are dealing with those students, and here the role of a teacher as a counselor and as a mental health facilitator has been dealt with. Again, for this session we have resource person Professor Kushum Sharma from NCERT. She is in the field of guidance and counseling from more than 2 decades. And here now the focus of this presentation will be how a teacher can play a role of a counselor and a mental health facilitator so that they can help the students to cope up with their problems positively and effectively. And one thing, like as a teacher, the questions coming to your mind is, see, you may be thinking as a teacher you are a physics lecturer, you are a economics lecturer, you may be a education lecturer, any this thing from different varied discipline. Then why, in addition to your teaching learning job, you have to be a counselor, you have to be a mental health facilitator. Now, one thing I would like to clarify here is, it's not the focus of this theme or the course is not to prepare you as a professional counselor, but one thing you wanted to be like, you should know your students, and in knowing your students you have to develop rapport with the students. And when you want to have a good rapport with your students, then you should know who they are. It's not by name, like you can if you are able to understand them or what are the problems they are facing, whether the problem is related to their self, with the family, with the job, with the academic problem like understanding the content, or even improving their skills and habits, study habits, that will automatically help them to do better in their studies. Yeah, in that aspect, if you wanted, these things are the basic ingredient of a good performance or taking better decisions in the life, then your role as a teacher, as a college teacher, is not confined to the content mastery or giving them, exposing them to different jobs, but at the same time even giving them the skills that they will help them to take better decisions, to cope up with their problems, to take appropriate decisions with respect to various things, like even selection of the courses, even selection of the job, yeah, and similar things. And now the focus will be on the role of a counselor, mental health facilitator. And one more thing will come, like who is a counselor and who is a mental health facilitator, and like is there some qualities that a teacher is having, those qualities are different in counselors, in mental health facilitator. And similarly, like you are busy with your schedules and again taking more responsibility, that is also bothering you. But I feel like as a teacher, it is not the additional duties or additional thing, it is some of the things that you are doing. When you are talking to your students, you may be keeping those things in mind. But one thing, this session is for sensitizing you. If you are talking to students, and if you wanted to really help this thing, help the students to understand their problems, and so that they can work to cope up with their problems, then the role of a counselor and mental health facilitator is important. And these qualities many of you may be having, many of them you be exercising also, but with this session you will be able to sensitize more meaningfully with these terms. And now I am requesting Professor Kushum Sharma to start the presentation. Professor Kushum Sharma.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. As Dr. Weber mentioned that there you cannot restrict your teaching only to the content. These days there are more of problems in the colleges in which teachers feel that they need to be trained more adequately so that the students they are able to fulfill the needs of their students, and the students should be able to get the due help. So the emphasis now is on equipping teachers with basic counseling skills, which does not mean that we are training them to be counselors or to work as counselor, but helping teachers perform their pastoral work more effectively and enabling them to recognize problems which need referring to a specialist or a specialist agency. It is being recognized that teachers need training to assess the different levels of problems so that they can work within their level of competence and do not suffer undue stress as a result of work and do not harm students also. While maintaining clear boundaries between counseling and teaching, I believe that you can enhance teacher-student relationships by consciously incorporating psychological theories and counseling micro skills into teaching repertoire to become a therapeutic teacher. So you have been hearing that there is a dramatic increase in psychological problems like anxiety, depression, suicide, etc. So how have they suddenly crept in? What is the solution to it? One normally thinks about it. Now, although the key concept in both the teacher-student and the counselor-client relationship, connection is the relationship. The important learning that we have from our experience is that there are very different kinds of relationships. You can see the parallel by simply substituting student for the client, teacher for the counselor, and education for the therapy. Now, what is counseling? We try to understand what is counseling. It is a process in which the counselor enables the client or the counselee to understand self.
Okay, Pune, please come on the line. Pune.
I want to ask, in this era of tension and turmoil, what are the steps taken by the higher education system to promote value education? Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you. See, now I am requesting all the viewers to wait till like 1:20, that so that presentation will be over, and afterwards we will deal with the questions. And if somebody wanted to send the queries, we have a fax number in the studio, and use that. Thank you. Professor Sharma.
Yeah, well, there have been several attempts. There have been attempts to integrate value education into the curriculum so that values are transacted, it permeates the whole system. So in the National Curriculum Framework, if you refer to it, you will notice that values and now the peace education, which touches upon a number of values, has been recommended to be integrated in the curriculum so that each and every activity, be it co-curricular activities, be it any subject, it is being integrated into it. There have also been recommendations that it should be made as a separate subject also at the school level. So there have been several attempts. Research has also been conducted to promote conflict resolution and various peace measures. and this is being incorporated into the total school system now.
And now I think you can
Yeah,
continue with
I
your
can
presentation.
continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I was talking about what counseling is. Basically it is a process in which the counselor enables the counselee to understand self and the situation and deal with the situation. So it is a relationship between the counselor and the client. Counseling can also be on one-to-one basis or in a group. It can be with the families, as a group also, and as an individual. While counselor offers a variety of helping skills, ultimately it is a client who determines the content, the methods and the success of counseling. So the counselor helps a client find solutions to the problems and accept those solutions as his own. So it is just the empowering of the client, and here you can substitute client as a student. It is the student who is to find his own solutions. You are not going to find a solution for them. You are just empowering them by providing more of information, by inculcating in them decision making skills, and by incorporating life skill approach in the school, in the curriculum. Then what is your role going to be as a counselor or as a facilitator? It is to assist people to grow and solve their own problems. It is, as most people who need help have within themselves a number of resources for coping which the counselor can bring about. You have to bring it out, elicit. And we believe, as Plato has documented, Socratic dialogues in which Socrates also believed that the person has the repertoire, has the resources within him, and they have to be brought out. That's all. So you need, then you also need to understand, when you're helping a student, what are your own motivations? Are you avoiding dealing with your own problem, or looking for a status, or looking for close contact with others, or do you believe that you have the answers to them, or you want to counsel out of a sincere wish to help them? You can check your own motivation for counseling. Now, to be a good facilitator or to be a counselor, there are certain personal qualities which you need to possess. Then these are some of the qualities are like empathy, in which like if a counselor is empathizing, that means he can put himself into the shoes of another person. He understands what is the internal world of another person and is aware of what is going on there. And another quality or the skill is congruence or genuineness, which is the ability to be aware of our own inner world and what is going on, which is what you're doing actually is what you're feeling. So there should be a congruence in your feeling and in your action. Then another quality is unconditional positive regard or non-possessive warmth, which means to give consistent warmth of regard to another person. When a student comes to you, you don't have to make a judgment whether he is good or bad, whether he belongs to a particular area, he belongs to a particular strata. It is just an unconditional warmth and respect for the person. And another quality is concreteness, which enables you to put feelings and ideas into words which are not vague or abstract, because the student wants to be very clear and is already confused. So you can help the person to be more concrete and help him to clarify his own ideas. Then there's another skill which is confrontation or challenging, which enables us to detect contradictions in what is being said and what is being done, and to detect falseness and bring it out to notice. Suppose a person says that I like meeting people, but at the same time he also says I am shy. So there is a contradiction. you can confront. On the one hand, you are saying this, and on the other hand, you say this. So, are you trying to, are you fond of meeting people and still you are not able to, are you shy of that? So, you have to bring out and clarify the confusion that the child is encountering. Another quality which a facilitator should have is immediacy, that is, the quality of being present in the here and now, which enables us to relate to and speak to what is coming up in the moment. You can talk of present because that is what is bothering right now, and you need to be flexible, which implies being adaptive to different situations, and acceptance of others. To accept as a person he or she is without being critical is a very good quality that a facilitator can have. Whatever the person is, that you don't have to criticize that person. Then one thing more, whenever you want to discuss a problem with somebody, you are always hesitant unless you know a person and you know for sure that person is going to keep it confidential. So confidentiality is another major quality that a person should have, and this is done by drawing up a contract with the client or the student, either verbally or written, and you have to ensure, but you have to say when the confidentiality can be broken up. It is only in certain circumstances, for example, when it means threat to life to a person, then the confidentiality may be broken, but that again will be with the permission of the client. Once again, there will be some more issues in the counseling, like counselor values, the basic qualities of acceptance and concern for others, recognition of worth of each individual, honesty, truthfulness, self-awareness, tolerance, goodwill, and caring are desirable counselor traits. But you would notice these traits are the same as a teacher should have, and so you can't separate the two. They are also crucial for teaching. These traits will permeate even in your teaching. They are required even for you to be a good teacher, to be an effective teacher, and to be a popular teacher. We have already done Johari window in the last session. To be able to understand yourself, you can do that on yourself. You have a self-assessment questionnaire. You can also develop some like what your interests are, and what you think others think of you. So various kinds of self-concepts you can, and various kinds of cells, multiple cells, you can explore to understand yourself and see what your value system is. You as a facilitator do not have to change the values, but you have to understand that whatever you have to understand and accept the student with whatever value system he or she has. So these are the basic principles in which you accept the person, and you even if your values are different, they have a right to a different value system. You should be able to appreciate that. And another principle is that you don't have a right to impose your own values on the client. Your position is not that of a judge. Your function is not to assign guilt or innocence, but to encourage objective evaluation of attitudes, standards, and actions. Many students have an expectation and fear of being judged. They already feel guilty because of having contravened their families or society's moral code. So it does not help them to blame them or to criticize them. So there is no need to regard their behavior as deviant. So you have to be non-judgmental, you have to accept it, and if there is any place for judgment, it should be actions rather than person who is being judged. So a facilitator does not operate in isolation. They are expected to work within the basic values of the society. Now, if you have to start, if you have to talk to a student, find out if you feel there is a person has a problem, there has to be a particular surrounding or a setup which you need to, because you can't start talking on the road or in the corridor or in the veranda or in the class. So there has to be a setup, and it has to be a relatively informal setting. The kind of setup that you would like to ensure before you ask the child to student to confide in you is that there are no distractions around, there are no people around, and you can ensure confidentiality, and they need to be at the same time they need to be comfortably apart. You have to treat the person at the same level and be aware of your posture, the kind of posture that you adopt, and it should be open and accepting, and what kind of a leaning you have towards a student, and you can sit slightly angled and leaning towards the client so that you can show that you are listening to him or her. You should have proper eye contact and look at the student when he is talking, and use the glances that express interest and acceptance. Now, there are certain basic skills that you need to have to be able to elicit information, because students would be very hesitant in coming to you and talking about their personal problems. So you have to be a good listener. You have to communicate non-verbally as well as verbally, that you want to listen to them, you are interested in them. You have to show skills of attending, which is verbal as well as non-verbal. The posture, the speech, and the eye contact, and that again should not be too much of a staring at a person. Gaze should wander around, and at the same time focus on the student when he is talking. Then what kind of questioning skill should, or the kind of communication that you indulge in, there should be communication skills, that you are listening and nodding and saying. There are either verbal skills to communicate, the kind of questioning you do, open-ended or close-ended. There are certain questions which may be very close-ended, like you say, are you doing this? Do you like this? Do you not? Do you do this? This is just close-ended. You don't get much of information. But if you say what, when, how, where, why, so these are the kinds of questions which are open-ended and give more of information. But it has to be very well knit into the dialogue, so that the person feels and does not withdraw, does not feel there is a mental block. Then you also have to use silence. Sometimes we get very afraid of silence and are embarrassed by silence during conversation. So to use silence effectively, you need to accept its worth, to feel confident about allowing it to continue, and to be sensitive to the timing also. You have to see whether it is needed or not, whether it gels with the kind of dialogue you are having with the person. So that is also very important. Then some of the students may be very, very reluctant. You don't have to force them to talk to you. You have to give them their own space. You have to appreciate and respect their space and their boundaries. Then there may be some skills of responding, how you respond, how you listen, how you lead, and how you reflect. Reflecting on the content of what the student is saying and their feelings conveys to the student that you are listening and you are trying to understand what has been said. For example, you might respond by saying, is that what you're saying? You seem to be saying dash. Or you can say, let me see if I understand you correctly. So you can repeat what the person has said, and you can also say, correct me if I'm wrong, so that you convey to the person that you're listening and you're understanding, you're comprehending. You also, when you summarize and convey to the person, paraphrase.
Shillong, please come on the line.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
I am a teacher from Mosiram Higher Secondary School, Meghalaya. Actually, this I am a teacher in chemistry in my in higher secondary school, and all the students pass. But this is shameful thing that a student never pass in mathematics. Even two students also got first division, but they got only 14 and 15 marks.
Okay.
And after ultimately they leave this mathematics and take only physics, chemistry, biology in graduation level.
Okay.
Ultimately, the number of the PCM group decreases in Meghalaya. So please suggest us how to motivate the student, how to teach the student, and how to motivate the parents also, so that a student can take interest in mathematics and flourish mathematics in Meghalaya. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Sharma, I think this seems to be a very good question because mathematics phobia is common.
It is very common.
Yeah.
I think first of all, you should not be very tense about it. You should not be very anxious. Of course, it is a concern which you should take seriously, but still not be tense about it, because this is not the first time they are doing maths. They have already been in the school for 12 years. They have already been subjected to it. And what you teach them now is at a level which probably reveals that there is a gap in what they have already acquired and the profile that you need at this stage. Suppose you are teaching mathematics or statistics, especially at the B.Ed level, probably the gap is so much that they cannot cope with it. So you can motivate them, but like when there is a lot of frustration, then person tries either to be aggressive or to withdraw. So it is a sort of withdrawal. It is because they cannot cope with it. You can organize some workshops for them, in which you can identify their basic profile and work on that basic profile and the gaps which they need to be able to understand the content that you are teaching. And you also need to motivate them by telling how it is going to be useful to them when they take up a profession, when they take up a job, or wherever they go in their daily life also. So you can organize various activities, various workshops which are activity based, in which you can have activities pertaining to maths as well as to social skills or daily life skills in which maths is being used.
Yeah, I think Professor Kusum Sharma, the main thing is like the mathematics phobia is common among students, and as a the school teacher, as a school the teacher, they should be able to find out why students get less marks or why they are not able to perform better in mathematics. One thing, see, mathematics phobia is not due to mental level of the students. See, even the teachers, mathematics teacher, actually they should try to make mathematics teaching more more interesting. Yeah, and even for teachers, there should be workshops also how to make mathematics more interesting for the students. Because even having no takers for PCM group in the college level, even we are depriving the the PCM these pass out students, because they will be the future they will be taking the jobs in that areas, and if students, they are passing out from the college, they are not taking PCM, I think it's a serious problem, if we see in the development perspective, and it's school's responsibility to find out the reasons. And second, in Shillong also there is a university, also there is a regional institute of education also. I think for mathematics teachers, or for the popularizing mathematics among students, I think they should take keen help from the RIE.
Yes.
Or even the NEHU and other colleges, and they should do some activities. The students, why they are not liking mathematics? It's maybe because the teacher may not be able to using the teaching method that are liked by the students, and that is the main thing, because there should be reasons, because mathematics, the people, they are good in mathematics, they like mathematics as the easiest subjects, because in every subject mathematics is there, whether we are doing anything, even if we are organizing things in our room, or whether we are organizing our space in the classroom, where everything needs mathematics. And because mathematics is seen as a subject that is it's a phobia thing, we teach them in that way, it is only the calculation thing without understanding, or maybe because the methods we are using, not the innovative methods or not the interesting methods. If teachers take those steps, I feel that is one of the way they can make mathematics more interesting for the students. And students, if they are opting for mathematics, then automatically in the higher education level also they will be opting for the mathematics or PCM group. And one thing, Professor Sharma, I wanted to ask you, there was a question, tension and turmoil, and promotion of values amongst even college students, and second, and and then second was counselor and mental health facilitator. See, because counseling is not, it's a helping but not assisting. It is not giving 100 rupees to a person,
no.
And it is
You're
also
just empowering. You're just
empowering, and empowering also, so that a student can take the best possible decision in the circumstances.
Yes.
And it is also not it is not making the student or making the person guilty. Because see, as you have mentioned, it is the actions are bad, not the person. It is not labeling the person, but it is realizing the person, your action is not as per the society or as per the situation, that is unacceptable, but you are acceptable. And second thing is, when we see one of the question, if I'm asking to all of you, to whom you wanted to confide your things, whether it's a happiness, sadness, or anything that you wanted to share. See, the first question, if somebody will ask me to whom I wanted to share my repo, then thing will come, I would like to share my personal experiences, and if they are some very personal or typical, to a person who will not reveal my experiences to others. That's why as a teacher, if you wanted your student should have repo with you, then one of the first and foremost thing is, you should accept your students as they are, and second, you should have, if they are sharing something and that is very personal, you should not okay, Shillong, please. Shillong.
So
yeah, hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I just want to inquire from you. Yes, I just want to inquire from you. So now I am teaching, for example, I'm teaching history in higher secondary school. Okay.
Yes.
So being bound with the examination reforms and with this curriculums that we have to finish the course, and I have to take them both I have to organize some activities. I'm taking this caution to them. Do you think that I'll be able to get time to do some counseling for them, or being a teacher of history without knowing the knowledge of psychology. I have not yet trained as a BS also. So is it possible for me to understand the psychology of the students? Can you find ways and means for me which are the techniques that I have to be applied in order to understand the psychology, or to know at least the psychology of the students? Thank you.
Yeah, okay, before handing it over to Professor Kusum Sharma, I just wanted to ask you, see, you are teaching to human beings, like you are going to your class, and you know there is a rapport is there. See, that's why the first and foremost thing before starting this, the earlier session also, this session also, I told we are not aiming at producing professional counselors. It is the sensitization of teacher, whether it's a school level, any teacher, or whether any person who is interacting with the other human beings. And because when you are going to the class, you know the age level of your students, you know what level of the previous chapter what you have taught to them and how much they know. And when you are having when you are talking to them, you are not talking to machines, you are not talking to anyone unknown to you. That is also a part of a counselor. See, it is not reading those psychological theories, techniques, like how to be a counselor. And second thing, see, each and every teacher, the main focus is to covering the course. But at the same time, you also must be interested, your student should understand what you are teaching. And even they should be interested in this course. When you have all these things in mind, it is not that leaving your teaching aside, then you have to organize workshops, because even Shillong being a very big city, having universities, summer courses and so many programs, and now media exposure is so much, many programs in TV also come. Maths is fun, and you can motivate your students. You can even inform your students, see that program, geographical channel. In history, if you must be telling them, see that program in that time. The similar way, if you are informed, you are alert, then you can help your students. If RI is organizing some workshops, if some college is organizing, or if some other institute is organizing, as a teacher, it's your role to be informed, you motivate, you tell the new things, and then how to make your teaching interesting. Okay, hello? Shillong, please. Koraput. Okay, Koraput.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Good afternoon, Dr. Joshi and Dr. Sharma.
Yes.
This is K.C. Dalai from Resume Center, Koraput.
Good afternoon, Dalai.
Good afternoon.
I in fact had a question to ask.
Today,
the exams of class 12, exam results of CBSE are out.
Yes.
And shortly exam results for class 10 will also be out.
Yes.
And in that perspective, it's possibly bound that something is happening, that many students will fall into depression owing to bad results in the exams. And some of the adolescent students, normally because of very many reasons, like family problems, teenage love, etc., they get into depression. As a mental health facilitator, how is the teacher going to help these students to come out from such a depression? Because this depression makes a lot of problems for them. They don't become studious, they cannot attend to classes, and very many problems they are bound to face. How is the mental health facilitator going to help such a problem? Thank you.
Thank you, Dalai. It's a very good question. Now, Professor Sharma.
Both the questions were very good. This one from Koraput,
Yes.
I'll answer now. Because partially it has already been answered. The first one has already been answered by Dr. Vibha. When the student gets marks, probably in the heart of hearts, he already knows that he or she has not done well and will not get very high percentage. But it is the expectations of the people around which makes them more depressed. So if you can make them feel comfortable that this is not the end of the world. After all, a person has to lead a family, has to, let him or her imagine where he or she sees oneself after 5 years, after 10 years, what kind of a job he or she would like to be placed in. And then in that kind of a career, where you can think of the levels at which a person can go. Suppose there is a medical profession that somebody wants to pursue. So it is not just a doctor, there are technicians, there are people at different levels. Even amongst the doctors there are different schools, disciplines, and there are once again different therapies. So what a person, if a person has not been able to fulfill one thing at a particular time, for whatever reasons, the person can think again and redefine goals so that he has something to achieve, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And another question which was put up on the
history.
In history, I think that was excellent question. We have a teacher counselor model in our training in NCERT, where we train the teachers to integrate counseling in their teaching in the total curriculum so that it permeates the whole system. So if as a teacher also you can support and encourage a student and use it skillfully so that the support and the encouragement provided to the student is in such a way that he feels he is accepted and capable of coping, and this should be extremely reassuring and energizing. So you can, even in your day-to-day interaction, you can use lots of skills in which you don't have to be a counselor, but it's just the permeation of your goodness, your personalizing the curriculum, so that the person feels his personal needs being taken care of. Another way of handling is by organizing group counseling in small groups of 8 or 10, where with students with a common problem, and this has an healing effect as they all feel that they have a common problem, and this has a therapeutic effect also. Another thing is peer counseling, in which the undergraduate students are provided training and supervision so that they can develop skills to help their classmates or maybe their peers in various kinds of problems in time management.
Yeah, Professor Kusum Sharma, yeah, it's like very distinct good solutions you have suggested, but due to time constraints, like now we have come to an end, and I am saying like what the live I saying, because see, it is not that students know what they are doing, and students knows how, okay, they many times they may be knowing that they have done well or not, but one thing I wanted to convey to the students, see, getting 90% or 95% in all public examination, that is not the end of the thing. See, okay, if by chance, if like they have not got marks or they have not got like up to their expectations, because even they should recall their other life also. Many times they have lost their matches and so many things, and that's why take it as a passing phase and try to remain balanced. Yeah, that's why the role of a teacher is important here, because they have to create a balance, because this is a passing phase, like maybe not 90, 89 the person has got. And I hope even you have enjoyed this session, and because if you have any other queries, please fax them. And now we are coming to an end and we are closing this session. Thank you.
Thank you.